Hey friends, it's Jess and welcome back to my channel. I am doing a card tutorial today for the first time in a very long time, and I'm playing along with the My Favorite Things sketch challenge number 2. Since they have just brought back sketch challenges, I figured it would be a good time to make a video and do a card tutorial, which, like I said, has been not happening for a long time. So get cozy, grab something to eat or a nice cozy drink, and let's make a card together. In the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, you will see the sketch challenge image that I'm basing my card off of today. So the way the sketch challenge works is they put out an image like this so you can get an idea of what the inspiration is or how to lay out your card. And you're not strictly limited to this design. You can flip it, you can turn it on its side, you can put it upside down, you can use a different shape as long as it has some of those same elements. You're basically looking at a starting point for your project, something to help you get started and jump in, which is really handy, especially when you're feeling any sort of creative block or you just don't really know what you want to make. So to get started with my card for the sketch challenge, I decided to go ahead and mask off the bottom section of the card. This I did with some mint tape from scrapbook.com. It's just a low tack tape that I use to block things off when I need to. It's nice because you can ink blend right over top of it. It doesn't bleed through, but it does provide a nice barrier so that you are not ink blending where you don't want to. So I just used some strips of that over the bottom of the card to keep it nice and crisp and white. And then I pulled out some Distress Oxides. If you're interested in the colors that I've used, but you can't see what they are up on the screen here, I will go ahead and link everything down in the description for you if you'd like to check out the supply list for the video. So I started with my ink blending. I started with my lightest color first and then progressively added darker colors around the outside to get sort of a gradient sort of look. And then I used my Distress sprayer. This is basically a water bottle. I spritzed it into my hand first and then sort of flicked down at the paper so that it gave me a little bit more control over the splatter or the spray of the water droplets. I used a paper towel to soak up some of the excess water and let that dry for a minute. And then I used the acrylic gloss spray from Dina, Wakley, and Ranger to splatter on some white. Now I was able to remove that low tack tape from the bottom and the line is so crisp and beautiful. I absolutely love it. And then I went ahead and got to work on ink blending my heart. So this heart I actually just cut with my Cricut machine. It's not a die or anything, but I needed to get something that was about the right size and I didn't have anything on hand. So I cut it with my Cricut. It's just the basic Cricut shape that you can use for free. And then I'm using some different colors in pink and red for Distress Oxides to go ahead and ink blend this heart. Again, I started with my lightest color, worked my way towards the darkest, and then I wasn't really happy with the lines of my blending, so I actually went ahead and went back and blended it a little bit more with all the colors. I did the same thing with the Distress sprayer, and then I made a boo-boo and accidentally flipped it upside down, and it got a little bit splotchy, but it worked out okay. Just keep going. The show must go on, right? I didn't want to start over, and I think it turned out okay. So once I got my heart all done, I set that aside and I moved on to stamping out my cute little lion image from My Favorite Things. And I went to go ahead and color this with my Copic markers. So I have used a variety of Copic markers here. And I did this vertical video because originally I was planning on not including the coloring in this video and I was going to just post it exclusively on Instagram or TikTok or somewhere. But I decided that people might want to see it. You guys let me know. Do you care about seeing the coloring or not? But anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and let you watch the coloring. Probably put on a little bit of music here for a second so you can relax with that. And once the coloring's done, I'll come back and we'll finish the rest of the card. After I was done with all the Copic coloring, I went ahead and used a pair of sharp scissors to cut out my image. And then I was ready to go ahead and heat emboss my sentiment. So I'm using a piece of black cardstock. I treated it with an anti-static powder tool, and now I'm stamping the sentiment with the Distress embossing ink. There are a lot of different embossing inks you can use, but this is the one I happened to grab. I am pouring on the superfine white detail embossing powder from Ranger, tapping off the excess, and then heating that to melt the embossing powder on the sentiment, which forms a really cool kind of shiny effect on it, which I really like. Then I decided to figure out how my card was going to fit together. So I laid it all out, kind of got it how I wanted it, and then I was ready to go ahead and start assembling it. So now I've got my plan ready to put it into action. So I'm using some foam tape here. I'm trying to use up a bunch of my extra rolls. I have a bunch of rolls of foam tape, like way too many, and a lot of them are partially used. So I'm trying to use them all up. So they look a little sad, but anyhow, so I'm popping up the heart and the little lion on foam and getting that set up so that I can kind of lay everything out. I decided I wanted it popped up just to add a little bit of interest and extra dimension, but you don't have to do that. You can definitely just adhere all of this directly to the card and have it kind of be more flat. Totally up to you. Once I got the foam tape on everything, I went ahead and started peeling it off. Here is where the kicker comes in about buying foam tape. You can't just get it from anywhere. I'm having to use a pokey tool because that particular roll of foam tape, the backing doesn't come off. It's really difficult to remove. I have had the best luck with the scrapbook.com foam tapes. The backer just comes off so easily. I don't have to mess with it. It's really quick and easy. So I would definitely recommend that. I'll leave a link down below in case you guys want to check it out. It comes in a lot of different widths, which is awesome. So anyway, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put all this on. I put up the foam tape on, but I did need some glue in a couple different places since it would have just been flapping around without it. But I went ahead and applied that glue, and I'm just going to put everything together. Nothing super complicated here. Again, I really struggled with this foam tape. Don't be like me. Get the good stuff. Well, once I got it on there, I decided that I didn't really like that it was just a blunt edge on the side there. So I cut a little flag or banner sort of vibe into the end. And I'm really happy with the way that that turned out. So once I had all of that done and assembled, I went ahead and got my card base ready. This is an A2 size card base, so it's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I'm going to go ahead and attach my panel that I created directly to that card base. So it is ready to go, ready to be mailed out. And that's the card. I hope you guys loved it. I like how it turned out. If you participate in the sketch challenge, be sure to tag me on social media so I can see what you're creating. I always love to see what you guys are up to. So hopefully I'll see some cute projects, and I'll see you next time.